What's going on, guys? Man, it feels good to be back. Um, I know it's sometimes, when I miss a week, I feel as if everybody feels like I missed, I don't know, a year. And I can understand how that feels. Um, you know, it feels that way to me. It feels like I haven't seen you guys or heard from you guys in weeks. But it was only been one single Sunday that I've missed. First time in a while, actually. And then, of course, it was a Sunday before Labor Day. And I was batting around the idea, should I do Sunday? Should I do Monday? Whatever. But I was like, I'm going to enjoy my Labor Day weekend. And I'm sure a lot of you guys did too. So we'll do it on Monday. So it's Stock Watch Monday this week because of the Labor Day holiday. And having said that, I hope all of you guys had a great Labor Day weekend. And I certainly did. As you can tell, I got a little bit of a tan going on. I was out on the boat fishing uh, all day on Saturday, all day, and didn't catch a damn thing. For you guys fishermen out there, it's a fall transition for largemouth bass or bass in general. So it's either they're on or they ain't. There's no in between. There's no. Hopefully, we'll get one or two. It just was terrible. It was a tough week. So. Um, but anyways, let me welcome some folks here. What's going on? Quick Red Fox, Alan, Mark, Matt. Good to see you guys. Bob, Jesse, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Trials, Rich, what's going on, man? Caught sunburn, bad day fishing, still better than a good day work, and that's the damn truth, Andrew. It was a beautiful day on Saturday. It was like 78 degrees and hardly any wind. It was great. Out with a buddy, and it was a good time. So, what's going on, Randy, Jennifer Lynn? So, I know that there's folks tuning in that are my normal guests, but if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, welcome. My name is Brad, and this channel is Own the Chaos. This channel was originally dedicated to just over-the-counter penny stocks. It has since evolved some a little bit, and I wanted to address that a little bit as well. But if you're interested in just trading stocks in general or being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, then subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up. I do this every Sunday. I was talking about this being Labor Day, but every Sunday I do Stock Watch Sunday, and I just go over the top 5 penny stocks that I'm watching for the week, and then we do it all over again every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to tune in during that period, and you can ask questions if there isn't a stock that I'm not going over that you want to know about. Leave some comments in the chat box there, or whatever you want to call it. And I will get to them and go over them. I will kindly ask you to not to just throw a ticker and just be thoughts on insert ticker here. Give some context. Give me something to go off of. Why you see value? What is it that you're looking at to say, okay, maybe this is something I'm considering. Let me know why, so that I have like some sort of direction to go into. But a deep voice today. Oh, let me see. Oh, how's that? Does that better? Yeah, that's good, Hussein. Fixed. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry about that. I'm not drunk, I promise. So okay, all right, we're good. Sorry about that. Yes, I think I gotta get a new cord for my mic. This cord to this mic is well over a year, 18 months old. So I need to get a new cord. I think it's like really loose. So sorry about that. But anyways, change it back. You like drunk Brad. But yeah, anyway, I was at the horse. Yeah. So speaking of which, if you guys didn't get a chance to see the barcast that went out today, just because it was Labor Day, didn't mean that didn't go out. We actually do need your help. We're starting to have people interact with the barcast. So we've been doing toasts, and people have been liking it so far. We've been doing some pretty funny ones, but we want to hear from you. So if you enjoy the barcast, if that's something that you tune into, make sure that you watch to the end of those barcasts. Because your toast might be there if you submit it to @OwnTheChaos or @Cashier on Instagram or any social media. If you want to just throw it on social media somewhere, your favorite platform, that's fine. Just make sure that you hashtag it People's Toast. People's Toast is the hashtag, and I'll make sure that I can find it, and it will be on one of our barcasts.
Some of the ones that I'm coming in, I'm freaking dying. You guys are cracking me up. They're hilarious. So please send them in. They really do make my day. Um, but no, I'm actually feeling pretty good, Sabine. So all right, so let's get to it. So yeah, the one tonight was great. So all right, let me share my screen with you as per the usual. So what I'd like to do, guys, is invite you to check out WeTrade HQ. If you guys don't know anything about WeTrade HQ, this is the website that me and my partner Jake built. It's a community of like-minded individuals trading anything from big board stocks to penny stocks to cryptocurrencies. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're trading in the market, we want WeTrade HQ to be the place for you. And so this platform is absolutely free to join. You can, select mentors if you want, which, by the way, let me just remind everybody, we did send an email out to all of our WeTrade HQ folks, but if you're not in the WeTrade HQ family, I want to extend to you that we have select mentors that are offering a 14-day free trial mentorship where a lot of us will go live with you every day and be interactive with you every day, helping you and answering any of the questions that you might have. I go live personally from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time, and so I put a link in the description to go to my mentorship page, and then enter the promo code LABOR, as in Labor Day, 19. Labor 19 is the promo code. I can put that in there for you, Jake, if you don't mind. Can you just put that in there? There you go. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. Labor 14. Sorry, for 14 days. See, I thought it was 19 for 2019. But yes, so Labor 14. I'll get it right, I promise. Labor 14 will give you 14 free days, and that includes me, Cameron with Young Money Investments, and then also Don with Don Fran Show. So just want to get that out of the way, and let's get on to the stocks that I'm watching for the week. So the first one's going to be RBNW. This has already gone up, as you can tell, 965%. Actually went up higher than that. It's what it closed at, 965% on Friday. Wow, what a move. There was some speculation on this. There's a little bit of people, including myself, that was a little nervous in getting an RBNW. And I think the reasons were probably valid. The other one, but on the other hand, sometimes with the OTC, it's like, just because it kicked your ass in the past doesn't mean that it's the same stock, and this is the case for RBNW. RBNW royally screwed me way back when. This is probably over 2 years ago, last time I even touched RBNW, and I vowed that I was never going to look at it ever again. But here I am, because it's not the same old RBNW. As you can see, it's Renewable Energy. That's the name of the company, but it's not Renewable Energy anymore. So RBNW came out with an 8K. So if you're not familiar with how to find the 8K, you can go to otcmarkets.com. Basically, what otcmarkets.com is a Facebook for any ticker that you want to look up, pertinent information on. You can go to WeTrade HQ and do just about the same thing. The OTC Markets, though, provides like all the disclosures that WeTrade HQ obviously can't put up. We are working on that, so stay tuned for that. But they came out with an 8K. And the 8K basically says, and I want to zoom in here, but I'll just read it off to you. So Karen Barron began her career in 1987 overseeing a significant portion of her family-owned New York business-based Brazilian footwear. This is the company that's merging into RBNW. So renewable energy is not going to be renewable energy anymore. Basically, who she is, Karen Barron, was recruited by Steve Madden. If you guys remember Wolf of Wall Street, you probably know Steve Madden, if you've ever worn Steve Madden's shoes. He's a real guy. Within 6 months, she launched Steve Madden's landed brand wholesale business with marquee distributors such as DSW, Famous Footwear, and Burlington, resulting in annual net sales of 3 years of over $31 million. Karen developed a second wholesale division called Madden Girl, which became highly profitable, reaching $100 million in annual business within 6 years. In 2011, Karen was recruited by Mark Fisher Footwear to create a house junior brand, Pink and Pepper, developed into a $60 million wholesale shoe company. The name of the company that's merging in here, that Karen and David Barron are a part of, is this. Lust for Life. Now, I didn't know anything about Lust for Life. And I had to ask some people about it. And some of the ladies within our group We're like, how do you not know this company? Well, they are actually a very large company. Lust for Life, all you got to do is Google them, and they show up everywhere. I was kind of shocked. Lust for Life is being sold in Poshmark, Walmart, eBay, ThredUp, everywhere. They're sold all over the place. They do very, very well in revenue. So this is going to be a very big stock. Just because it's ran up 1,000% doesn't mean that it's going to stop here. For me personally, this feels a lot like DCGD or better. DCGD we saw go up, to nearly $1, got into the 90-cent range from sub penny. And I think RBNW definitely has the ingredients there to do the same, maybe even better. The only reason I'm saying that is because if you look at the share structure here over in security details at otcmarkets.com, you can see the 11 million in the float. So the float's super tiny. And to Alan's point, Alan said in here, super low float, RBNW scary, getting out. That's very true. So it's one thing that you got to, be cognizant of when you're getting into something like RBNW that has a super tiny float like that. Is because, if volume dries up, then you're stuck. But given everything that's coming in, and again, to Andrew's point, he said, did you see all the shipments coming in through customs, 50 tons worth of footwear? If the volume is still there, RBNW is still going to continue. So I know Andrew is within my morning mentorship, and he was the one that really kind of believed in this from the get-go, and everybody kind of, most people started following suit. I felt as if my personal belief, I'm very conservative, believe it or not, when it comes to trading stuff like this, and I saw that it was way up here, and for me personally, it was a missed opportunity, and I was just waiting for some sort of pullback. My thing for this is like, I don't know. I will wait for some sort of pullback to make an entry on RBNW. I'm just not sure yet where it's at. Hussein says, I guess the next resistance level for RBNW would be around 16 to 20 cents since that was around the high close of the day. Yeah, so if we go back to the daily chart, I mean, look at this daily candle. That's so ridiculous. This daily chart is so ridiculous. 18 cents. But, I mean, gosh, that was all the way back in December of 18. I mean, and then the last time it was up anywhere near this high was back October of 2018. So, I don't know if you really can gauge that very well. So, for me personally, this feels a lot like it's just in no man's land. So, I will look for a healthy pullback to see if there's an area of opportunity for me to get in before it starts to bounce back up. If you go back to the 30-minute chart, the case could be made for maybe the 3.5 cent range, but honestly, gosh, I don't believe that's going to go back down to 3 cents. I would be shocked if it did. So I'm going to look for some sort of pullback. No doubt in my mind, this will probably gap up tomorrow. Hussein says good pullbacks, probably 5-6. You're probably right about that. But it's one of those things where you just kind of have to see where it goes. There's no way that, for me personally, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would tell you to just chase this, but I don't know. I would never suggest that anybody chase anything. First off, it's just really not a good practice to have, especially if you are new to trading. But I like what Andrew says, bid the gap. You can place a bid order in and see if you get filled. And if you don't, just understand it's a missed opportunity. It's going to be one of those things where if you missed your entry, then you missed your entry. There's always something else. There's always another play to be made. There's always another trade to be made. And so I don't want people to get caught up in the hype of this thing and get themselves stuck or get themselves hurt. So many times I've seen that happen, and so I just want to make sure that you're exercising that caution. Only get in my opinion, if there's some sort of healthy pullback that looks like the price is at a fair point, at a fair price. That's what I would suggest doing. That's how I've been able to do this successfully. Buying something that's up ridiculously high or chasing something has rarely ever worked out. So that's one of those things where I would, exercise caution. Joe, what's going on? Joe Kaz, JCast 17. What up, man? Sick move. Maybe the 06 area for a pullback. Who knows? Yeah, it's been crazy. And so some of our most experienced traders that are showing up, it has the same sentiment. So very much true for RBNW. So again, what to expect for tomorrow? Anybody's guess is, there's going to be so many guesses out there. But my personal opinion is I think it's probably going to gap up for sure. But I think it's going to probably pull back at some point. Yeah, I think '06, maybe '05, if you're lucky. But with that float being the way that it is, all it takes is a few slaps and it can still be off to the races. But anyways, there you go with RBNW. So next one I want to talk about is ARSN. ARSN has been an interesting one. They look like they started to be done with notes as it started to come back up into the '01 area, and then there was like 5 straight days of dumping. So if you look at the daily chart, this is basically what's going on. And then all of a sudden, CFGN, a known dilutive market maker, left the box completely, was gone off of ARSN. No maximum anywhere to be seen. So it looks to me as if ARSN, the notes are potentially done. Now, I say potentially cautiously because I'm not going to say that they're definitely gone, but the last 2 trading days looked very, very strong. I honestly thought we were going to go up over a penny on Friday. But this is one that I'm still very much watching. I have ARSN. I was able to average down. I told my morning mentorship folks that if you're looking for a potential area to average down, you could tell on this chart that coming back down into the 0049, 0050 area looked like a good spot to add. So a lot of them did. Were able to, maybe some people were able to average down or at least get in at a lower price. Good spot to be in. You're almost double at this point. And so looking at ARSN, they came out with some news recently about, their ice cream and all that crap. That's not something that I really care too much about. What I do care about is that they do communicate quite a bit on Twitter. ARSN, I think for me personally, I think the Yinglings are actually starting to take a little bit more control or take a little bit more of the reins here from an operations standpoint. And so I think that's a good thing. If you guys don't know anything about ARSN, you haven't been following them. This was a merger, a reverse merger from Yingling's Ice Cream. They were a private company. If you're familiar with the brewing company Yingling, they're somewhat related, same family. And so they have ice cream that's being sold in a bunch of other stores. And they were announcing they're making great progress and efforts to become fully reporting. But the other thing that I thought was interesting was that they're working on securing another major food sector acquisition with national name brand recognition and incredible American legacy. Now, that could be many things, but I would like to see personally, I'm not saying that this is what it's going to be, but I would like to see personally this be maybe Kroger, something along those lines, a huge food chain, something that's known nationally. Costco probably would be a little bit of a stretch, but something like Kroger or like I said, something along those lines I think would be really awesome. So I'm interested to see what's going on with that as far as ARSN is concerned. I think if we see a major chain like that, then we could certainly see ARSN get a move on, especially if all the selling has been done. Like I said, it appears as if that might be the case on ARSN as far as the notes are concerned. So there you have it, RBNW, ARSN. The next one's going to be T-Cell. And we saw now new fresh highs on T-Cell. Lots of speculation on this one. This is a cryptocurrency-related stock. They're working on getting themselves current. As you can see here at OTC Markets, they still have the stop sign going. But they have a lot of other good things going on. They're also pretty communicative to their investors on Twitter as well. But I try not to tell folks that Twitter is a reliable source, even if it's from the company themselves, because why would the company try to tell you anything bad about their company? They're trying to get you to buy their stock. So take a lot of that with a grain of salt. The only reason that I brought up ARSN's Twitter account is because a lot of the stuff that they said has come to fruition. So I don't really have much of a reason to not believe them at this point. Obviously, it still remains to be seen. But having said that, just understand that Twitter is Twitter, and so that being said, T-Cell has really started to get a move on. This is one of the thinnest 000 stocks that I've seen in some time next to CDIX. So looking at, and what I mean by that, looking at the security details, if you go and look at the share structure, I'm not venturing to say that the float is 329 million. I'm also not venturing to say that the float is 1.9 billion, just given the way that this thing moves. The way that this thing moves is ridiculous. It is super thin for 000 stock, and there's no way that I would consider the float to be anywhere close to 2 billion. I would venture to say that it's probably going to be somewhere around this. I would say maybe a 500,000 or 500 million shares is probably what's in the float. Nevertheless, with something that's this low in price, if you guys have never played anything that was a 000 stock before, this would be considered a very, very low float for a 000 stock. And now that it's going back up into the 00 range, it got all the way up as high as 0014, came back down to 001. It's a few whacks. It really wasn't that much as far as selling was concerned to bring it back down to 001, which again is that double-edged sword of it doesn't take much to move it up, but then again it doesn't take much to move it down. But a lot of our folks within WeTrade HQ and in the morning mentorship got 0004s, and we're able to capitalize on some of the dips here as well, and it has done nothing but go up since then. So it's been a very nice play for us. I'm curious to see how this thing might move if in fact the filings do show up and they get themselves current. So that's what we're waiting on with T-Cell, and that's why this started to move up, because the company finally communicated that they're very much on their way to getting current. The filings are completed. So that's why I have T-Cell on the radar for this week. I mean, I've had it on the radar for a couple weeks now, but very much so now. I think this is starting to act a little bit, not so much like a 000 stock. So 000s, you can see, all it is just a couple ticks. And this is this is a characteristic of a 000 stock. It's just up a tick, down a tick, up a tick, down a tick, and that's all it does. It's super boring. But now, starting to act a little different. And so that's something of a good sign. And a good comparison, a good segue to that would be PFMS. So PFMS is another one that was a 000 stock and no longer is, and has made a lot of great moves. This is one that we got in at 0008, and it's had highs of 007. Nearly 1,000% move. Now, this wasn't as crazy and wild as some of the other ones that we've seen that's moved 2,000% or 1,000% in a single day. But honestly, those are the ones that probably should scare you more. Something like PFMS was nice and easy. You could actually get up and go to the toilet without having to worry about your whole entire account going to shit. So something like RBNW or something like CDEX is probably one of those ones where you're like, well, now I can't leave my computer because I have no idea where this is going to go. With something like PFMS, it's been slow and steady. They've had a lot going on. This is a Dave Lazar custodianship. If you're not familiar with Dave Lazar, it goes after a lot of shell companies to prepare them to be reverse merger candidates. And so PFMS seems to be one of those ones that could potentially do that. A lot of people, including Once Broke Mama within our mentorship, and she's very well known all over the place. She drew the correlation of PFMS to TRDX, which is another Dave Lazar play. TRDX did almost the exact same thing. It was a 000 stock. It was one of those things where it went from trips after custodianship came out and never came back down. So take a visual image right now of PFMS, and then I'll go to TRDX and kind of show you what I mean. So TRDX was another 000 stock, and she actually said, I don't know what it is, but there's something about 000s that whenever the custodianship gets granted, especially if it's a Dave Lazar for whatever reason, it starts to, the filings start to come in, and all of a sudden it goes crazy. And that's what happened here with TRDX. The thing is with PFMS is the chart's even better and the share structure's better. So if we go back to PFMS, and here again, so here's TRDX, the filing showed up, and then this huge gap up, and then boom. I mean, it went crazy. And then it's never really gotten back down to the trips ever since February, ever. So we go back to PFMS, and it basically it looks pretty similar, but I think it actually looks better than TRDX's chart. So I'm venturing to say that PFMS is headed for a penny at some point, and we still haven't even gotten the filings to get this thing current. The only thing that we've had recently as far as filings are concerned is this 15D, and we already talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago as far as PFMS is concerned, about how a 15D would probably, to the uneducated person, the inexperienced person, not look like a good thing. But the reason they put this 15D out was to not file with the SEC, and the reason for that being was because they wanted to protect the shell as they were getting the filings in order. And so once the filings come out to get this company current, I think we will see a major move on PFMS to that penny range. So looks like it's consolidating pretty nicely here on the daily chart. It's not too wild just yet. And so, you can even go to the 30-minute chart. It still looks relatively good. Pretty nice gap up earlier last week from this 004 range. Look at that nice consolidation at 004. It's really started to form a base here at 004. So if you ever see an area of opportunity to perhaps get in the PFMS, that 004 range looks like money. Good resistance here too at 005. So if I draw a line here at 005 and it breaks up over 005, we could see more moves back up to previous highs as well. And so that's what I'm looking at as far as PFMS is concerned. I'm on free shares already with PFMS. A lot of us are, but it doesn't mean that there is an opportunity to still make some money on this if you play your cards right. And again, you got to look to see where the fair price on PFMS is. And the fair price for me personally, if I had not made a play on this just yet, I'm looking to see if there's going to be a dip down to 004, and I'm looking for a break at 005. So if it breaks at 005, it should continue. So that would be a reasonable entry. And also, if it starts to bounce off of 004, that would also be a reasonable entry. So keep that in mind as you're watching PFMS throughout the week next week. MIRV is another good one. Very similar play. MILV, sorry. MILV is another one. Similar situation. The share structure is actually better on MILV. So if you look at the daily chart on this one, similar situation here with MILV and with a TRIPS stock similar to TRDX and PFMS that just goes up once custodianship is granted, and then filings start to show up, and it really starts to get a move on, and rarely ever comes back down to the TRIPS. So this is definitely one to continue to keep monitoring too, is MILV, and I believe the custodianship hearing went through on Friday. We have yet to see the results of that. At least I haven't. If anybody else has seen the results of MILV as far as custodianship is concerned, I certainly would love to hear from you, but I haven't seen anything yet as far as MILV is concerned. So, okay. The last and final one as far as the top 5 that I'm watching this week, and then I'll get to you guys, to the comments and some of the ones that you guys want me to take a look at, is CLDR. Now, I zoomed in here a little bit because I wanted you to kind of see CLDR in its entirety. But so CLDR is Cloudera Inc. This is not a OTC stock. This is traded on NASDAQ, but it's penny stock nevertheless. At least it trades like one. And so it's trading at $7.14. I've talked about this one as it being a potential one to invest long into a month ago, and that was at $6.40 because of this extreme gap down here, as you can see. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit because I want you to be able to see this. So you can see that this gap down from 860 all the way down to 501, and it started to move up. And so I started seeing this move up, and I was like, I wonder if this gap is going to close. Almost 90% of the time, you see a gap fill on these penny stock plays, especially NASDAQ. It's almost a no-brainer. You just kind of put that on autopilot. And it's starting to do that. It's a little bit slow going, but from a chart perspective, I think this looks really good. It's starting to reach a resistance again around 720, 715. I got in around 640, and I've just kind of been chilling on it. It's just something that I think has a good long-term potential on. And again, I talked to you guys about this, about Carl Icahn investing over 20%, and now owns over 20% of the company. And so Carl Icahn, if you guys don't know, he can be pretty relatable to Warren Buffett, if you will. He's a billionaire. And so I just pulled up Carl Icahn's website. If you guys can go and do some research on him if you want. But he's a billionaire investor, is now investing in CLDR. And so I think this could be very exciting. I honestly think this could definitely be potentially undervalued, and if it eventually fills this gap, we could see stronger moves from this, depending on what kind of catalysts come out from CLDR. But this is my long-term hold. I still think it's worth watching, and the only reason I'm bringing it up this week is because it's gotten back up to this resistance point. So if it breaks this resistance and continues to go up higher than where it closed at on Friday, we can see a nice move from this, I think. So be on the lookout for that CLDR, because the next resistance from that, if it breaks here, would be that 870 range, and then if it breaks 870, it's going to go probably to around $10. So be on the lookout for that. Again, it's CLDR. All right. So, hey, thanks, Alan. I appreciate the donation, man. Every little bit helps. So thanks so much for that. I appreciate it. So let me scroll back through here and see what everybody's chatting about. So we talked about RBNW. How's TBLT looking? TBLT, I think, was just kind of like a short-term trade. I don't know if there's anything else to go off of as far as that's concerned. Gee, I like it. LVBX, enterprise software for cannabis growers, seed to sale merger management only, company using blockchain technology. I like it. So this is what I want to see, guys. Give me some direction. Why do you see value in this one? So let's pull it up. LVBX. Let me go back over here. LVBX. Level box. All right, so this is what I do. If I don't know anything about a company, and I'm going to go through looking through my due diligence and just trying to figure out if it's worth even looking at and watching, I'm going to go and look at the chart first and see how it looks. Right now, it looks pretty illiquid. And if I'm honest, it looks like there's a little bit of a preload here. So if I go and look at this, I can see there's a definite preload. What I mean by that is there's a lot of investors, or maybe even one person, loading up on this thing at no less than 0.03 cents. So 3 cents looks like there's a lot of loading going on here over the last week or two. And so let's see what else they got going on. So LVBX, LVBX here, level blocks. Why does it keep doing that? All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at security details. We're going to look at the share structure. The share structure looks pretty decent. What kind of news have they had out recently? They haven't had anything out since June. Disclosures here, not good. They're SEC delinquent. They're OCC QB. They're kind of at risk for being, delisted here to just pink sheets. So that's some cause for concern. Now, if they come out with some interesting catalysts, sure, maybe this could get a move on. But I don't like the fact that this is getting preloaded here without a catalyst. There's nothing that shows me the reason for all this buying going on over the last week or two. So that would be one I probably would be cautious of. Certainly, definitely worth just keeping on your watch list to see if they get their filings together, and maybe there's some sort of catalyst that comes out on it. But not something that I would consider, a good buy at this moment in time, given what I've seen on the surface. So, what's your thoughts on PACV, Peter? So, PACV, I still think is a valuable company, but they got to stop diluting. All they do is just dump on them, and so that's the one thing that has been really frustrating with a lot of PACV shareholders, is that they just continue dumping. I mean, they got notes out the ass, and so it's been really frustrating. So I still think there's value to be had there, but man, who knows? They got to get rid of the notes first before it goes anywhere. ARSN looks good. Yeah, thanks for that, Hussein. How is T-Cell crypto? From the name, it looks like biotech. So biotech is what T-Cell used to be. The crypto company is merging into that, Hussein. If you look at the filings and news that came out on T-Cell, you'll be able to determine that. So there's the press releases. Go ahead and feel free to take a look at that if you want to inquire more about T-Cell. So let's see. Yeah, we'll see, Andrew, about the PFMS filings for sure. What else we got? FNMA plans supposedly going to be announced this week to exit conservatorship. Major upside if it happens. FNMA, let's take a look at the chart. This has always been one that's had like tons and tons of volume, sort of. So, and I would agree with you if that happens. That's the big if, right? So it's worth watching. So if they exit conservatorship this week, then we could certainly see a nice boom out of FNMA. Looking at, this is Fannie Mae, the Fannie Mae, FNMA. Obviously, share structure, not all that great at this price point. But it could certainly move if that catalyst actually happens. So worth keeping on the watch list, but I'm not crazy about it. So it's a big if, right? So if that happens. Hey, thanks, Music Bill. Appreciate it. What's going on, Lost One? FHAI is Lazar play. FHAI, yeah, that's been a one that it's been a long awaited. So it's Lazar play of 700 million or 7 million float and now pink current. There are rumors of potential merger. Nice chart pattern. So the one thing with Lazar is that he takes his sweet old time. So with FHAI, it's kind of be one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it. As far as the merger, I'm not trying to talk down to FHAI or the reasons you see value. I would certainly agree with you. So looking at FHAI, but the thing is that people have been talking about a reverse merger on this thing for quite some time. So for me personally, I'm going to have to just wait to see if it actually happens before I'll consider taking any action on it. I will say the chart looks pretty nice, even though it's been low volume. So just be cautious here because dealing with areas of liquidity, there's hardly any of that, but it's pretty decent cup and handle pattern here on the daily chart. So it's not terrible. I just would like to see more volume, and we got to see that catalyst actually happen. TOMI round 2 has started. Ticker QSIP change. I did see a lot of that, Andrew. A lot of shares are locked up on 2. So yeah, TOMI is ridiculous. That share structure is insane. So TOMI, this is one I played in round 1. Got in pretty decent price here. You can see this starting to curl up. Chart actually looks fairly decent. Good resistance here at 30. So you can see that good resistance here at 30. And share structure on TOMI is very good. So 10 million in the float. There is a double-edged sword with this. Look how much volume it took to bring it all the way back down to 07. Not a lot, right? So very little volume to go up, and then very little volume to go down. So that's the double-edged sword with these low floaters. It's very exciting when it's going in the direction that you want it to go into, but be careful with that. Having said that, if it breaks 30 cents, we could see a nice move out of this, Andrew. I agree. So be on the lookout for that. Nice volume here going up as far as from 07 all the way back up to 30. So I like the volume here. I like the action. And we just need to see it get up over 30. I think it could definitely be off to the races. Faux show. Music Bill. Yes, I'm still in INKW. Frustratingly enough, is what it is. If it pops off, it pops off. But I'm still in INKW. It's not worth me selling at this point. One of my longer term plays. And that's kind of an understatement if I'm honest. Quick Red Fox, something that's not penny stock related, but I don't mind answering. So, how about the tariffs? Will they make or break us? I think that is something that remains to be seen. If you look at the futures right now on gold, they're at 15.25. Actually, pretty far down from where they were previously. So they were all the way up as high as 15.50 earlier in the week. So I'm actually, looking at my gold. I have gold futures pulled up right here. So I actually have it pulled up here. Right now it's trading at 15.25 over on TradingView. So if you go to TradingView, you can see that. It was as high up here as around, this is 15.44. I think it goes up to 15.50 at one point. So I think that as far as the market's concerned, we could see a turn up because basically if we're putting tariffs on China and China is actually paying them, it could look good for the economy. But if China then puts tariffs on us, that's when you'll start to see gold probably go back up. And as you know, Quick Red Fox, I've been doing a lot of ETF trading, and more importantly, or more specifically, I should say, is JNUG, especially since the OTC has been rather slow. It's been pretty slim pickings in the OTC and penny stock land. So I've been trading some ETFs because I like the volatility on ETFs, and I can do a lot of decent day trades on stuff like JNUG, JDST. And so I've just been paying attention a lot to gold. So I think that gold's probably going to come down tomorrow in our short week. So I'm probably not going to actually trade that moving forward this week unless something happens for whatever reason. But, we'll keep an eye on it. Dan said, looking like dilution had come to an end on Thursday and Friday in PACV. I sure hope so. If that happens, we might see a nice move back up. The only problem is that every time you see a nice move back up, for whatever reason, dilution shows its ugly face again. So hopefully it doesn't happen. That's the only thing I can say about it. What else we got? Great questions tonight, guys. Nicely done. Good interaction. Would you say September should open up for the OTC back to business? Absolutely. So lots of times you can see the OTC, as far as volume's concerned, follow along with the school year. So from Labor Day to Memorial Day is going to be your busier times of the year for the OTC and penny stock trading in general, and really the overall market. The summertime is always slow, so if it's slow in the big boards, it's going to be real slow in the OTC. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the money starting to come back in and seeing volume in the overall OTC market. So yes, to answer your question, that we should start to see a little bit more moving in the OTC in general. So Grassroots Advisory Custodian UNRG, that had a nice move, Christian. I'm not sure if that'll have more in it. We'll see if it has more gas in the tank. You got to pay attention to that volume. It started to look like it was drying up on Friday, but could be for a lot of reasons, but definitely worth keeping on the radar. IMUC, nice price action on Friday. Okay. Still an INKW. Yeah, a lot of us are. It's almost time for OTC to start picking up. Absolutely. Trying to stop the tariffs on the U.S. for now. It is pot season as well, so make sure to pay attention to any of your favorite MJ tickers. They should start getting a move on, especially after the beatdown they've taken over the summer. And yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. 42 minutes. Man, that was a hell of a Stock Watch Sunday. So, and yes, Peter, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. I certainly would appreciate it. And go check out the Barcast. I've had a lot of people give me mixed opinions, but I know that there's a lot of folks here for the stock stuff. But I really kind of wanted to show this entrepreneur side, and there's a lot of people that are receptive to it. And at the end of the day, the thing that I'm doing for YouTube, it's for me as much as it is for you. I love being able to make you guys happy and entertain you in a certain way. But I'm also doing this for me. I love YouTube, and I'm going to put out content that I love to do. So if you don't like the Barcast, don't watch it. But if you do, I certainly would appreciate the view. And send me those toasts. Give me a toast. Send it at Own the Chaos over on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to throw it at. Send me a couple of videos that we can put up. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's trading day. So, again, guys, 14-day free trial, links in the description for the morning mentorship. And that is it for me, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I will see you all before the bell. B. Smith is out. Have a good one.